Good evening, I'm Thando Ngeno. 121 dockets that were previously held by the KZN Political Killings Task Team will now be handed over to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. The dockets formed a central part of a series of explosive allegations made public in July by KZN Police Commissioner Mtlandla Mkhwanazi. This after they were confiscated and handed over to a team in Pretoria. Last week, National Police Commissioner Fani Masemula announced the dockets would be returned to the KZN Political Killings Task Team, but that's since changed following a meeting between Masemula and Acting Police Commissioner Feroz Kachalia. Police Ministry spokesperson Kamogelo Mokhotsi.
The Political Killings Task Team dockets will be submitted to the Commission in the format that they require. This is to ensure the integrity of the dockets and enable the Commission to thoroughly investigate all the matters related to its terms of reference.
Relatives of renowned broadcast journalist Tid Madia say her family is shattered by her loss. Colleagues, friends and loved ones were gathering in Sandton this afternoon in memory of Madia, who died in hospital last week following a short illness. At the time of her passing, she was the associate editor for politics at Eyewitness News. Bold, passionate and caring are just some of the words being used to describe Madia as she's fondly remembered. Madia's sister, Riabetre Mukoko.
Literally my best friend in life. The 27th of August will never be the same. I don't know how family gatherings are going to be like. As busy as our sister was, every time there was something happening in the family, she made sure that she was there. We are left to pick up the pieces without the biggest integral part. And I look at her and I'm like, you prepared us for everyone's death, but not yours.
And lastly, a French winemaker has been jailed for champagne fraud. Didier Chopin allegedly labelled and sold hundreds of thousands of bottles of fake champagne from 2022 to 2023. He made his wines from Spain and southern France, to which he added aromas and gas to make them sparkling. The fraud was estimated at several million euros. The 56-year-old was sentenced to 18 months behind bars with an additional 30 months suspended. He's also been barred from ever running a company again and from working in the champagne industry for at least 5 years. A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg will drop to overnight lows of 13, peaking at 30. Pretoria is also at 13 and 30, and Vereeniging is at 12 and 30 degrees. Thando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Leadership does not put in the colors. We've only put the red color, Robert.
Great show as always, Rob.
Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
Great show as always. Thanks.
Great show as always.
Great show as always, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful show, Robert. Thank you so much. It always gives me pleasure to speak to someone who's got such an insight.
I love the introduction.
Hey, what is show, Marawa?
I think General Mkhwanazi must go to Naturena and address everyone there because they are going to kill us with excitement. This joy is overwhelming, yet we can't help but ask for more of the same dosage of happiness.
Thank you so much. Indeed, great humor as well, saying General Mkhwanazi must go down to Naturena because Kaizer Chiefs are currently killing them with excitement. And if you talk about the General, just make sure you don't shoot first.
Coach
Manqoba Mngqithi did say, as we're building up to the brand new season, that he has players that nobody has ever heard of, and he's going to introduce them slowly but surely.
Football coach is doing wonders. He's doing very well. What is happening at Chippa now, I'm happy. I wish they can be relegated. I wish they can be relegated to ABC Motsepe. That's what I wish for Chippa. That's the street of Eastern Cape. That's what I wish.
To the dusty streets of the Eastern Cape. That is what he wishes for Chippa United.
Let's talk about Mfundo Rob. I don't know what to say about Mfundo. Obrigado, man. Man, what a game changer that boy is. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Mfundo Vilakazi, that's all I want to say. Thank you, Rob.
These are like deep emotional feelings.
Rivera went to Al Ahly thinking, I think every coach here will want to be successful, but that's the hottest seat in an African football perspective. The second hottest, I would like to think it's Sundowns.
Welcome back to the Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers.
Welcome back, the Room Dividers. Zatu Mamanj.
Tuesday at 6.
Please take the right off ramp this time, sir.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, I can tell you that the Room Dividers are coming up next. The band has taken a right-off ramp, and of course, Mike Greenaway is standing by as always. We'll give you the latest as far as the cricket is concerned. All of that coming up on Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go!
The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Yeah, everyone's been enjoying the cricket so far today. Hey, England crumbling to 131 all out after being sent into bat. Viad Mulder taking those 3 wickets of 33 balls. Also, as you know, Keshav Maharaj sealing the innings with the 4-4-22. And also South African bowlers pretty much relentless as they always are, fielding sharp. England had literally no answers. They were chasing 132. The Proteas raced to 65 without loss. Aiden Markram smashed that rapid 50 of 25 balls, which was a commanding start to the series. Also some great catches as well, I saw Ruud falling to Rickleton as far as that grab was concerned. So yeah, plenty of action. You don't want to miss out on any of that. But also the big story move that everyone was talking about yesterday into the weekend finally happened. I think a lot of you would have caught up with that on social media. But for those who don't and haven't yet, that record-breaking move from Newcastle United, Alexander Isak, has opened up about his decision to join Liverpool and what the club means to him. His arrival adds firepower to Arne Slot's front line. And while he may need to settle in, as all players do, Isak's ambition is pretty clear. He wants to contribute, compete and carve out a legacy at Anfield.
Well, Alex, it's done. You're a Liverpool player. Can you describe how you're feeling right now?
I feel amazing. It's been a long journey, to get here. But I'm super happy to be a part of this team, this club and everything it stands for. It's something I'm proud of and I'm really looking forward to.
Why was it Liverpool for you? Why were Liverpool the club you wanted to join?
I think it's a mixture of what the club is building, but what they're building on top of what the club already is and the history of the club. So I think just me getting the chance to be a part of this and I want to create history. I want to win trophies. And that's ultimately the biggest motivation for me. And I feel like this is a perfect place for me to grow even further and to take my game and to next level and help the team as well.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening to the MSW listeners. Yeah, 3310 there, the commentator, Mamelodi Sundowns. Something is not going right there. I don't know why a division is there, but all I can say is that coach needs to come up with a plan. In big games, you need the players like Shalulile, you put them on the bench. I don't know what is the strategy on that one, But yeah, congratulations to Orlando Pirates, congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs. I'm happy they are actually in the form, and they are doing everything they can to grab those wins, which is something that we've been actually looking for two teams to come and give us those hectic moments as Sundowns fans, And the other one goes to Hollywood Bet Super League, Starop. Icon. Now it's making sense. There's a 15-year-old girl that plays for TUT, Nobo. What a player! What a player! And I'm sure now South African football now will put that girl into a database. What a player! At the age of 15 years, senior team, scoring the first goal. Refil.
From Tembisa. I should say, for me, the weekend was Mahau Nkota for becoming the very first South African to score a goal in the Roshin Saudi League. That was phenomenal. And also Lyle Foster scoring against Manchester United. So it's been a historical weekend for South Africans. So big ups to Mahau and Foster. Thank you, Robert. Bye.
It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. Room Dividers right here on hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by F&B. Hashtag grassroots to greatness right here on 947 Rise FM, Vuma FM, and Soweto Live.
Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
And setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
All right, Room Dividers time it is. When giants collide, rugby's biggest truths are revealed. And that is why tonight the Room Dividers return when they step into the arena. There are no half measures here, guys. On one side, you got the uncompromising former SA under 23 and Springbok flank, that is Thando Manana. On the other side, you got the incisive independent media rugby writer and also author of the Fireside Springbok, Mike Greenaway. Together, they bring that fearless debate, sharp insight, the pure rugby passion. And we're going to be reviewing the Boks women's clash, though, with Italy. And what it means, though, for the road to the quarterfinals. I think we were just so excited over the weekend, checking out the results. I think a lot of you watched the game live, which makes more sense. And that is why you get to celebrate it even more, because when you look at the intensity of the game, the score, catching up on 2 occasions, then you know how hard the ladies have fought, guys. But yeah, we build up on that. We're going to go live as well. Chat to the coaching staff, find out if you got any questions or comments or anything to do with that. Please do share, because we would love to throw that to the staff members. Springboks versus the All Blacks as well coming up this weekend. Hey, something for all of us to get excited about, but how prepared are we? Are there a couple of things we need to be concerned about? The team announcement is set for Thursday. I think Mike will know that, Tuesday, which is today, that's why we have Room Dividers on a Tuesday, because we can take it fresh out of the oven and say, hey guys, the coach has spoken. What do you think? It's not going to be, because today there's no announcement of any Springbok team. It's going to be happening on Thursday. So what's the reasoning behind that? Who starts, who finishes? That's the big difference. Good evening, gentlemen. Thando Manana, Mike, good to see you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mike.
Ready and able today?
Yeah, and that team announcement, I have to have a little bit of a laugh. The last time the Springboks played a test match, it was against Australia, and Rassie announced his team on a Monday. And look, in World Rugby, coaches tend to announce their team at the last possible minute, which is 48 hours before kickoff. But Rassie, it kind of moves around the week. It can be a Monday, it can be a Tuesday, it can be a Thursday. I think when he announced it on that Monday before Australia, he was trying to make a statement. Look, we can announce our team early. Yeah. You can analyze us to death. This is who we are. It's one thing knowing what we're going to do. Another thing, can you actually stop us? This time, though, he's going right to the very final minutes, and I think a little bit of mind games there with the All Blacks, because often if they see what Rassie's done with his bench, with a 7-1-6-2 or whatever the case, they can then make a plan, because they're announcing their team a couple of days later. But Scott Robertson, the All Blacks coach, is now going to he's going to have to just pick his team. He can't now wait and react to what Rassie's doing. And I think that, the Springboks, since they started the bomb squad, the 7-1, the 6-2, they haven't lost to the All Blacks. So I think there is a little bit of a sort of a mind game there. It is a little bit of a bogey thing for the All Blacks. They don't like this bomb squad thing. So I think that's why Rassie has left it to the very end. And he might well surprise us and come with 5-3. But it'll be too late then for the All Blacks to change their team.
it's important, these mind games. I think a certain room divided tried to play them last week on us here in the studio, but he is here on time today. Mr. Manana, I think the way that Mike has described it, is it similar to the way you see it? Because we were all kind of waiting today, but then boom, wasn't happening.
Rob, first and foremost, I think this is it. This is top-tier rugby. This is not mind games. I think a lot is at stake for both coaches, Scott Robertson, Rassie. They do know that. I think Mike spoke about the bomb squad. I think that's flat. We're going to Eden Park knowing that the bomb squad needs to be effective because it hasn't been firing from all cylinders. We know that. So therefore, announcing the team is for him to look at what option he has. For example, coming to the studio, I'm playing around on who's my front rower. Ox, Malcolm, Wilco, or Ox, Malcolm, Thomas du Toit. It's difficult. A couple of weeks ago, we had 4 squads. We had 4 squads that we can select. Now, all of a sudden, do you start a Eben? Do you drop a Luet? Do you start a Ruan Nokia, who's a V8, who's got a V8 engine, runs for you, has 100% of the lineouts against Australia? In the first test in Johannesburg, we only won 65%. So there are big questions to be asked to the management team of the Boks. So I think he wants to go to the last minute to announce his team. Because if you don't do that, he's putting himself under enormous pressure. Do you play a Jean-Luc Dupré? He was nearly a starter against Australia in Cape Town. Match fitness is another issue. Do we risk starting him than, a Kwagga Smith? What's happening? So there's a lot of question. I think even with the back line, who do you play at fullback?
What's brought this along, though, gentlemen? Because you rightfully say that a couple of weeks ago, we were sitting here and saying, Rassie's got everything to select by. I know Mike reported on the FAF call-up that happened. Bongi Mbonambi's had to attend to family issues and so on. But why are we where we are now? Is that starting to become now less of the luxury, but more of the grit?
Yeah. So what I'm certain we're going to see now is that the rotation is over. So that match 23 that played in the second test against Australia and won in Cape Town, it'll be the same 23 again, barring there might be a late withdrawal and I see Rassie's got Sia Khaleesi bracketed. So there's a few things that might change, but pretty much he's going to go with the strongest 23, and that's that 23 from Cape Town. A few changes in that match. He chose to finish with Eben and Luet. They played off the bench. I'm certain that they will start. He had Volko Low on the bench. I'm certain Volko will come in and replace Thomas du Toit. And Jean-Luc Dupré, who of course had to withdraw at the last minute. He ate something funny. He got gastro on the eve of that game, and that was just a tragedy. The poor guy was waiting for his first start since 2018.
And it never happened.
And he has a dodgy pie at the garage shop. So I think he's going to start. I think he'll come in with Kwagga then reverting to the bench. And I mean, you look at that pack of forwards that is likely to start, and Pieter-Steph du Toit is the other one that's bracketed, is likely to come back. And I promise you, this pack will not go backwards. Jean-Luc at 8, Pieter-Steph, Sia, Luet, De Jager, Eben, Volkolo, Malcolm Boks, Oxenchair. Wow, that is a pack of forwards. The talking points, you're quite right, Thando. Who's going to play fullback? That is one position where there's a lot of question marks. No one really putting their hands up. Does he even go to the veteran Willie Leroux? Apelele Fassi has been a little bit hot and cold.
But what's the difference, though? I mean, give me a breakdown here, guys, because I'm fascinated by 15 and 10 in terms of positions. So we had 15 now. You brought the 2 options here, Mike. Manana, what's your take? Let me take that Fassi split with the elder.
I mean, if you ask me who I'll select Fassi, without a doubt. You've got a Jordan from the All Blacks who's running on all cylinders. You need someone to match him. You need a fullback that's going to have the pace to match any All Blacker that's coming their way, especially with the last line of defense, Rob. That's quite important. Yeah. 2, Fassi's up and under worked tremendously well against Australia. If you look at a Ricky Wani, the Springbok are going to eat Ricky Wani for breakfast if he is playing on Saturday. After 8 years, he's still poor with the high ball. So the Springboks are going to have that ploy. You've got CV Reese, the shorter wing. Yeah. If you play a Canan Moodie against him, Springboks on the upper. If you play Cheslin Colby, he's much more dynamic in the air than those players that they have. And the All Blacks, for the first time, I go into a game and saying that they've got a weak back line because Scott Robertson can't select. For the first time, they're missing a proper scrum half. They've actually going to have a debutant at scrum half because they just had one getting injured just yesterday. So what I'm saying, Rob, is you've got to start Fassi. Give the kid that opportunity. Whoever you have on the bench, whether it's a Willemse, his confidence also is been questioned. Yeah. But Fassi had a great game post the Ellis Park game. I would start with him. Secondly, if you have a Canan Moodie as a back three with Colby, that's a dynamic trio that you have at the back. That's safety first so that we can be able to counter, we can be able to really put up there. The only thing that will talk for Willie is that he can play a second 5'8". He can be the second fly half when there's a turn of play around, going blind. He can actually have that. But in terms of just all the others, that back three I've just mentioned is my back three. But it remains on Thursday. Because also you've got to understand, the All Blacks have never lost to us in 15 outings at Eden Park. That's history. We beat the All Blacks at Eden Park. You look at 2027. You look at the possibility of winning it for a hat-trick of times. Because you've gone to a place where it's dark for you in terms of history and you are able to break those records and know that in 2 years' time you'll get back there.
Those records are crazy, though. Take a quick one back before you take a break. I want to maintain that momentum about Eden Park and what it means. And maybe you just want to add a last one on the 15.
Yeah, look, just regarding the team, Thando, I'm not so sure about Canan at 14. I mean, we will see on Thursday. There has been talk about Makazole Mapimpi, a return for the veteran for such a big test. Canan has been a little bit up and down, still a little bit raw. Look, I mean, Rassie might just well gamble. He has got the X factor to win the game for South Africa. But Mapimpi is there. He's been recalled. There is a chance that he might start. I would go with the veteran for such a big game.
It's also important to remind Mike of what Canan did to the All Blacks in London. And he was man of the match and he had a blinder. But rugby changes.
That raw talent.
Yeah.
Okay, hold those words. Rugby changes. I'm loving this because I also love your input as well. If you want to join the conversation and if you want to contribute something to the conversation, it is 060-708-0484, 060-708-0484, 011-888-947. If you want to give us a call directly in studio.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 litre 6-pack Spar Long Life full cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose free, for $89.99 with Spar Rewards, or 900 gram original Bacoma Wheat Bix for $49.99. Save 15 Rand with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Every day, most of us spend an hour planning, prepping, and stressing over what's for dinner. That's around 29,200 hours of your life spent running from grocery store, the kitchen, to the fridge, to the stove. Why not spend that time running for yourself? Or towards something you love doing? And let You Cook handle dinner. Delivered, prepped, and ready to cook. So, choose You Cook and take back some me time. Visit youcook.co.za to find out how.
At Lotto Star, we're proud to be the first in SA to offer a dedicated responsible betting program. Need to check in with yourself? Take our self-assessment quiz. Need a break? Choose a cooling off period or our easy self-exclusion option. For help and support, our independent counselors are here 24/7. Lotto Star, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
South Africa runs on you, the business owners. Without you, nothing moves. And that's why we built Lula, South Africa's first business-only banking suite to give you the support you need. From faster access to funding to unlimited EFTs for a single fee and skilled relationship bankers ready to help your business grow. Visit lula.co.za and experience business class banking and funding today. Powered by Access Bank. T's and C's apply.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with Sem Air, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks, always. Comfort and service, count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at semair.co.za. Sem Air, more from your airline.
If you want to save on your car insurance premium, you call Outsurance, right? But what if you don't save? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. You heard right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask them for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP, T's, C's, and information online.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And there's the try. South Africa take the lead. And it's Sinazo.
And let's not forget to celebrate, guys. Celebrate our Springbok women. They're doing so well.
And she's found touch. And that is the final whistle.
At the World Cup, making history. Beating Italy as well.
And look at the celebrations for South Africa.
Which means that South Africa will also move into the top 10 of the World Rugby Rankings for the very first time.
They've beaten Italy for the first time in their history.
I'm so emotional today. Best of all to the Springbok women's rugby team. What an awesome win. Super proud to be a South African. Emotional.
#MSW. #MSW. Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
And setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
Yeah, Room Dividers on a Tuesday, 28 minutes after the hour. Interactive as always. We're going to be going live in a second, but let me tell you though that this, which was Heritage Month, FNB celebrates the power of sports and also the pride of the nation. FNB is proud to back the Springbok women who are taking on the world at the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup, inspiring future generations in green and gold. FNB, proud sponsor of the Springbok women. And of course, FNB spearheading the Room Dividers here. Thando Manana, former SA Under-23, a junior Bok, and also a Springbok flank. Also our other Room Divider here in studio because, you can't be a pushover to Mr. Manana. Mike Greenaway, independent media rugby writer, author of a book on Springbok history, The Fireside Springbok, with me here as we dissect and look ahead to the weekend. And as I said, in just a second, we'll be celebrating that all-important victory against Italy from the Springbok women. And in fact, we're going to try a different way. right, as we said, we're going to be going to chat to Laurian Johannes. Hope to is the assistant coach there with the Springbok women, and as we celebrate all that has been achieved with them so far, it is a great opportunity here, Laurian, to have you live on the radio. I've got two fantastic rugby experts with me here, Thando Manana as well as Mike Greenaway, but all in all, the nation is all ears, and we say congratulations firstly.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me.
Post such an important weekend, such a historical one against the Italians, what's been uppermost in your mind since then?
Oh, it's just really special that we managed to make the quarters so soon in the competition. We're excited and we're looking ahead to the next one already. We know we still have another game to play in our pool before we actually head into the quarters. So we're all focused on the next job already.
Yeah, I know that the next job is going to be against another team that remains as unbeaten as South Africa is. But let's absorb that was the history. Let's absorb that happened against the Italians. I remember you had said that you have a plan for the Italians. What was that plan? Because sure as hell, it worked.
Yes, no, the plan going into that Italy game was always to dominate up front. We wanted to be really good at our set piece, our lineouts, our scrums, and we executed that aspect of our game really well. So we allowed our team to play more, and ultimately we were rewarded.
Were there any difficult moments? Yes, I think them catching up on two occasions when we had the upper hand. How worrying was that, and how calm were you on the bench to really bring the scores, number one, to not be level, but for us to go on and win it?
I think we just reiterated the fact that we needed to stick to our system. We've been really we've been working really hard over the past few months just to get our systems in place. And whether it was our attacking system or our defensive system, that was just something that the girls needed to stick to. So we just trusted our processes, we trusted our system, and we reiterated that it's so important that we stay there and we stay calm, and everything else will fall into place once you're back what you need to do.
And just your opinion about the set-piece dominance as well as the defensive structure.
Yeah, no, we pride ourselves at set piece. So we know going into the next one is also going to be a tougher opponent. But we know that if we dominate at that areas of the game, it allows us to do so much more in the different areas of the field and to play some more rugby. So that was our thing. That's what South Africa or rugby in South Africa is made of. We love our set piece.
All right, Mike, Thando here, Laurian on the line as we look back and also look forward. Any comments or questions, guys?
Hi, Laurian. It's Mike here, and congratulations on your victory. Yeah, look, I mean, television commentators always tell us about coach killers when the players make mistakes which cost points. But we kind of saw the opposite from the Springbok ladies in York. I mean, some of the tries that were scored, for instance, that one by Ayanda Malinga, which was clearly came straight from the training ground. You must have done it 50 times, executed beautifully. How pleasing is it for the coaching staff when you see the fruits of your labors, like that try, for instance?
Oh, that one was massively special. Just like you said, it just came straight from the training field. We've been complaining about our transition from training field to the matches or weren't going so well previously. So to see that come into play, that was just something spectacular for us as coaches to witness, and to see that all the work that we put in within our system is working, and we were really rejoicing for that try.
Coach Laurian, how are you? Good to see you again. And once again, congratulations to yourselves and Sways and the team. And I think for me, what stood out, I have to say, is the great offensive rugby that we really played. And Mike speaks about, that try of Malinga. But I think just the forward dominance for us has done tremendous work. But now what sort of for me was great was the backline play themselves, just scoring those great tries that we saw. Do you think that there's still a lot of work just on the defensive side for the team? I mean, obviously we've got quarterfinals coming up. Do you think that that's also an area that you guys need to work more on?
You know, you can never neglect what you need to work on. There's so many different facets of the game that we want to work on. But like I said earlier, we just need to trust our system. We need to trust our defensive system because the system will work for you once you implement what you need to do. And that's what we're definitely working on going into the next game. It's definitely our attacking breakdown. We want to get sharper there. We want to be better on D. There's a lot of areas that still needs that little fine tweaking, but that's what we currently busy doing. So that's the plan going forward.
As someone who's been in the World Cup in New Zealand, and definitely now this is your second one. I mean, as you sort of make a name for yourself as the coach, do you get a sense that this is actually the turning point that the women's rugby in South Africa really needed? Going forward and also having a look at 2029.
Absolutely. I think for me personally, I think it's a real great occasion for us to showcase what we really can do. And not just that, because we're doing what we're doing currently, we have people now watching the game, people getting exposure to the game, encouraging the young girls in South Africa to want to get into the game. So the trajectory of our game is really on the up. And that is very pleasing to see. The more girls start playing rugby, the better the product will ultimately be in the next few years. And in saying that, the squad that we currently have, there are still quite a few players that will be eligible to play in the 2029 World Cup going forward, purely based on the current performances and the ages and where we actually see the program going.
Coach, I mean, from my side, I remember you back in England. That was 2010. I mean, what does it mean now to return as a coach, guiding the next generation, and also being part of a generation that's gone into the history books already?
Sure, the transition from me playing in 2010 to where we are now, it's been massive. The game has evolved so much, and it's just really special to be able to witness this evolution of the game. The girls are really putting in so much hard work, so much dedication, and they know what they want to achieve. So our team goal and our individual goals are married to each other basically, and we're steaming ahead to ultimately make South Africa proud, but also make ourselves proud by following what we want to do and what we want to achieve as a team.
The problem is you got an impressive track record on your own in terms of your personal achievements, and I think collectively it is one that as South Africa we are ready for. We're ready to break into the mold where nobody has been before. Mike and Thando, any final questions before we allow Coach to get back into the business of her work that side?
Yeah. Mark here again. Just now that the tears have probably stopped and the dust has settled, or the dew has settled, if you like, on that game in York. How important now is it to back up that performance against Italy with a quality performance against France? A performance where you say, we're not done yet. We want to build momentum now. We're going to play even better.
I think our past games speak for themselves. We've been on this upward trajectory. So every week we're just putting in more. We're doing more. We fine twigging. So we definitely want to go into France confident and able to do what we need to do. France has got a really, really good set piece, but we're up for the challenge. We're definitely not going to just hang back and allow them to play rugby, because we're here to make a statement of our own, and we just want to do the best we possibly can.
Yeah, just from me, Laurian, super proud of the ladies in this World Cup, and continue making your own history. And you've got our support. We'll be watching on Sunday against the French team, and I'm sure you'll pull in some nice surprises there. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Laurian, thank you so much, man. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to chatting to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. See you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
highly appreciate it, man. What an awesome feeling. She must be at great experience. I mean, she's taking on this job as the assistant now. Great track record as well, provincially, and also herself as a player. Mike, what does it bring to the team?
Yeah, look, she spoke about an upward trajectory, and I just want to put their performances at the World Cup just into perspective. Cindy Boy, the captain, when she made her debut, they lost to Kazakhstan. Now, is Kazakhstan even a rugby country? This is a true story. They lost 101-0 to England, and it's not that long ago. So to now be where they are, look, it's what's really happened, Jan, and it's true for sport as it is for anything in life. If you've got a plan and you've got buy-in from role players and SA Rugby here must take a bow, because they've seen how women's sport, and I'm talking now 5-6 years ago, how women's sport across the globe is taking off, be it soccer, cricket, what have you, and SA Rugby said we are going to sort out our women's rugby team. And so first of all, well done to them. Then nothing happens without money. Sponsors have come in and made it happen. The women's team have got the best coaches. And then the players have bought in. Yeah. So it's just been a winning recipe where everyone has bought in and given it 110%, and the results are evident.
But it's a crazy story that Kazakhstan. You talk about Notisindiso boy. You talk about her history and what she has accomplished thus far, especially after that routing that they got, is to remind people that within her leadership, this will be undoubtedly the last Rugby World Cup for her. At this level of rugby, she's done so well. It's
a 40 years now.
Yeah, she's done fourth? This is the fourth Rugby World Cup. And I can only doff my hat off, guys. And that's why we said we've got to let the ladies come back, let the names be known, let the superstars be grown, because that is what we are all about here, putting the rugby women onto the threshold that they've never been before.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Babe.
Hey.
Are you looking at tiles again? Did you hit the jackpot and not tell me?
A little something like that, darling. With Maro Insurance, we don't wait 3 years to get something out. It's my cashback. We'll be able to give our kitchen that mini revamp a lot sooner. Aesthetics, babe.
Introducing My Cashback from My Way. Stay claim-free for just 2 years and get 10% of your premiums back to live your way. Go to myway.co.za and get a quote today. My Cashback is a feature on qualifying products paid after 2 claim-free years and all premiums paid. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
This is the morning home rush hour, also known as the Great Domestic Sprint. Hey babe, that's baby-proof. There's a pep for that. Mom's blouse, got some porridge. Now it's looking like mtogo kotor. And that. Mara little brother mummifying himself in meters of tin foil. We won't take the rap. But for everything else, there's a pep for that. And that.
Get more amazing value this Big Deal Wednesday at Food Lovers Market. Buy 1 250-gram strawberry punnet, 1 125-gram blueberry punnet, and 2 700-gram banana thrift packs, all for only 49 Rand per combo. And enjoy big savings on pork ribbon loin chops at only 69.99 per kilo. Valid this Wednesday only at all inland Food Lovers Market stores. It's in the experience.
Why pay more for business banking? Does your account come with a private jet, a 5-star lunch, a butler named James? Didn't think so. At Capitec, you get the same low fees as personal banking, so you always know what you get and what you pay. Open your account in minutes and save up to 50% on transaction fees. Visit capitecbank.co.za to get started. Capitec, the business bank for everyone. Capitec is an authorized FSP. 46669. Conditions apply.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
What would you do with R1 million? Would you spend it on your dream home? Or start fresh by clearing all your debt? Would you get that sweet ride? Or pay for your child's education? Or take a year off and see the world? To celebrate 25 years of Montego Classic, we're making these dreams come true for one lucky South African. To enter, buy a bag of Montego Classic dog or cat dry food. See in-store for details or visit montego.co.za.
exclusively on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Liverpool strike the first big blow.
Tariq Panja, the New York Times journalist, joining us live from the United Kingdom. Tariq, in your observation, what's the end goal here for Liverpool?
In the past, we're talking when they were the 80s, they're great teams with Kenny Dalglish at the helm, would buy from a position of strength, and this is what they've done. But what they wouldn't do is go out and really break the bank in the way that they've done now. That was reserved for the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea. I think there is two sets of football supporters, some that are just so excited about who's coming and who's going and not really care about the game. And then there are those of us who actually want to see what's happening on the field to see whether it was all worth it. And that will be clear come May next year when the trophies are handed out.
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, to the Marawa faithful and our room divider guest. Robert, I would like to add my little bit of a rugby knowledge. On the back trio, I definitely think on my side I would go Apilele Fasi with Cheslin Kobe and Makazole Mapimpi because of experience, knowledge of game. I know he's not played, but I don't think it would be too difficult for him to get into the game. I feel on the wingers we've had against Australia, it wasn't convincing. There was a lot of unforced errors, uncertainty, not very confident. So I think with that, we can't play that up again against New Zealand. They will punish us. Even though they also not on top tip form, they punish on opportunities, and being at Eden Park, it's going to be more difficult. So I think that would be the best back trio. Just, make it a bit solid and be able to break down the defense. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Thank you, Cheslin. Yeah.
It's going to be a tough week, especially Saturday, Sunday. But the Springboks must just win against New Zealand so that will give courage to our ladies to beat France on Sunday, which is a tough ask, I'm telling you. But prayer will get us through. Definite prayer will get us through. It's tough. Saturday, Sunday is tough. But you know what? We pray, we win.
It's that rugby fever, guys. We don't blame you. I think that is why we have the room dividers, to try divide and unite the opinion across the board. Because in as much as we're all talking about this, I mean, Rassie Rasmus has been also, commenting on the decision to name the team on Thursday. Remember, we spoke about that when we started the show, as opposed to happening today. He said there were a couple of, contributing factors to the call.
And then why we announced the team now, well, we're not quite sure what New Zealand will put out there. And the honest answer there is, we think we'll have a little bit more of a benefit by only naming it on Thursday when they are naming it, just because it's a little bit of an unknown. Most of the other teams we could have more or less guessed or had a good guesstimate what their team will look like. We see this game is such a big game that maybe the best thing for also New Zealand not to be able to analyse us that much. That's the honest answer to that's why we're announcing it only on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, honest as he can be, though. I mean, he also took that opportunity as well to correct the speculation that the scrum half de Klerk was called up to the squad as cover for hooker Bongi Mbonambi.
Are you saying why the coach only? It's me. See, the first thing is Bongi. We didn't replace Bongi with Faf. Krappie's Morne actually has a bit of a niggle, which is looking good, and we just got Faf in for precautionary on that, so he wasn't Bongi wasn't subbed by Faf. Bongi's got there's some illness in his family, and so he'll join us as quickly as he can. If we get through this game without the injury. At hooker, of course, what's his name? Jan Hendrik can also cover for us at hooker, and we've got Marnus, and we've got obviously Malcolm. So Jan Hendrik obviously also cover one for us as well. So we just wanted to make sure if we get if Morne's niggle was a little bit more serious than we thought it was. So no, we could have toured with only 34 guys, but we came with 36, but we didn't have a fourth scrum half. So no, it wasn't a like for like.
Why is it important for him to make that clarification? with the Faf story saying it's not a replacement for Bongi.
Yeah. So Bongi didn't even go. I think that's an important thing for people to realize is that he wasn't with the team in Auckland and then returned to South Africa. He never even left South Africa. As Rassie said, there's an illness in his family. And then with Morne van den Berg having a little bit of a niggle, they've brought Faf across just in case Morne does now break down again, and they've still got one test to play. But you never know with Rassie, what are the chances of Faf going straight into the team or onto the bench covering Grant? You never know with Rassie.
Yeah. But also you've got to understand, Rob, in terms of position specifics, the hooking position and the scrum half, those are your spine of the team. So the niggle on Morne, and then it meant you have two out-and-out scrum halves in Cobus and in Grant. So you need that. I think what it does say specifies Jan Hendrik, who's going on tour as a loose head, can also play hooker. So there they don't have an issue in terms of the hooking position. You've still got Fanta. I mean, Morne, you still have him as a second hooker. Now you've got also Jan Hendrik to come in as a hooker. So in terms of that, you have to have three of both of those positions. It's the norm. You take a big risk if you only go with two. If something is to happen on a Friday and you have one scrum half, you're going to be in trouble because those are two critical positions. One is throwing in the line out, it's scrumming, it's hooking. The other one is controlling the game, box kick and all of those things. So you can't be playing someone who's not played that position in a test match, a critical position of that. And this is a very important game for us. Remember, the Rugby Championship, guys, is wide open. All right? Argentina beat the All Blacks. They were poor. 40 missed tackles. So Scott Robinson has a lot of work to do. Rassie is now on the trajectory of getting rid of the Ellis Park disaster, taking form from Cape Town, moving forward. However, for me, the black team in this Rugby Champs is Argentina. They're down in the Gold Coast and they'll be up against an Australian side. And I get a feeling is that we're going to have a cracker of two games on Saturday at 6, on Saturday at 9.
Pressure, though. Somebody was saying that Rassie is feeling the pressure. Guys, is that true? But firstly, answer it after hearing this.
Hi, Rob and the room dividers. I think Rassie is feeling the pressure now. I think this tag that he has of being the most innovative coach got to him a little bit. Tried all sorts of things that were necessary. I mean, I remember him forcing a scrum against Italy of all nations. I mean, did he really have to do that? And also announcing his squad against Australia for the Ellis Park test on a Monday, and that backfired on him, So, yeah, his back is against the wall now. So there's no mind games here. So the guy is under immense pressure. And the All Blacks are going to be on, they're going to put our front line under immense pressure. They're not going to let us have a way, even if the bomb squad comes through. They are ready for that. So, yeah, Rassie is under immense pressure. And you're thinking what options does he have when Bonambi doesn't make it to the squad, he brings in a scrum half. Besides, let's be honest, Bonambi has been flat. I mean, he's a good player, but he has been flat lately. So, yeah, I think Rassie's back is against the wall now. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. But you know what? To be quite honest, I think the All Blacks are going to run riot on Saturday.
Yeah, run riot.
Evening, Tarob. Lwandile Makibo Tetayo Apekailami. I'm so happy for the ladies for winning the game over the weekend and qualifying for the quarterfinals. Be that as it may, we've got a massive task this weekend. From now on, the intensity is going to be high, leading into the quarterfinals. France is going to ask a lot more questions from our defense than we've received so far. We also just need to brush up on our scrumming. I think that second shove is what we need to focus on more, maintaining that pressure, and then when the ball's in, just cohesion on that second shove will be vital. And with the lineouts, we just need to set early and win the ground battle before we look to win the aerial battle, and also look to have a few more variations. And just territory, win the territory battle, get into their half. Our launch and our strike plays have been really lethal and quite good. with the game that we're going to play with the men that are going to play against New Zealand, I think that primarily it's some selection poses are going to be there. Who do you start at 10? If you start a Henry Pollard, then most likely you'll need a Willie at 15 who offers you the playmaking role and with that left foot, right foot axis. If you start a Mani Lebok, you also then will need a Pelele Fas who will then be your strike runner, where Mani will be the distributor and the producer. However, they could change it up and just start with a Pollard and a Fassi. So a lot of selection poses there that need to be answered, but we just need to trust our game and ask more questions, especially bring the intensity, and in the breakdown be quite intense there, so that we win that battle in the breakdown, we win the aerial battle, we win the battle in the set pieces as well. If we do that, we'll be able to win.
All right, great summary, I think, about from the women and the men's game. Any of that, guys, that you pick up that you want to tackle? I think the first voice note said that South Africa are in for hiding.
Yeah, look, one of the listeners made a point about Rassie being under great pressure. Yeah, look, I mean, what we have, he probably is. I mean, in any Springbok coach coaching against the All Blacks in New Zealand, it's a massive game. We mustn't forget that the Springboks have on a 4-match winning streak against the All Blacks. I think there's probably more pressure on Scott Robertson losing to Argentina the week before. I mean, he's just, not quite 2 years into the job. He's already lost 5 tests. For an All Blacks coach, that's a lot. And I think probably more worrying for him and for New Zealand, and Thando mentioned it earlier, their backline is not firing. They played 5 or 6 tests and there's been no improvement across their rugby. They struggled against France. They've been iffy all through their warm-up games. So I think the pressure is more on New Zealand. And that 50-match unbeaten streak at Auckland is on their shoulders. So I think probably more pressure on the All Blacks.
But they've made it historically at times, though, Manana, to be on the back of what Mike is saying, to try and make a turnaround against the old foe, which are the Springboks. Is this their moment too, or there are more negatives to their game as outlined by Mike, saying that the pressure then returns back to them? What's there for the Boks?
The leadership. Both teams have got an issue with leadership. If Sia doesn't play, we have a bit of a crisis in terms of that leadership role within the team. So therefore, we're going to get all the senior players to come on board and lead that team. If one were to look, Rob, at the All Blacks, they've got an issue with Barrett, who himself has been off form. He's the captain of the team. Sia is injured. Not that he's out of form, but from an All Black point of view, Barrett is off form completely. Now, they've got good forwards, if one were to look. I mean, you look at a Cody Taylor, you look at Setiti coming on. He came off the bench against an Argentinian team. For me, South Africa have just got to have this cohesion that they get the upper hand from the get-go. So therefore, we've got to turn them back. We've got to hit them with those high balls. And that's why I'm saying Pollard will start. We can't be putting Mani's name into the starting 15. Sure. Pollard starts. You've got a Grant Williams who has got to look and poke holes, especially in the first channel. He's got to break that line, because if you break the line, you bring in the big boys. Mike spoke of Eben, he spoke of Luet. I'm of the view, you've got to start a guy like a Archie Snyman who's going to have a colossal start, and then you've got to finish off with the other guys. I wouldn't select Luet Diaga for this game. He would be out of my match day 23. I would purely go with proper lock forwards that can do the damage for us up front.
Final score?
Boks by 12.
Boks by 12, Mike?
Yeah, look, a tight game. Springboks always perform better in the tight games. It is their rugby. It's what makes them tick. Tight games, Springboks 3 to 5 points.
3 to 5 points. Jeez.
It's not positive, Mike. Mike is not positive. It took 30 minutes to answer that question. I took just 5 seconds.
Oh, guys, my goodness. The crazy way time has flown. Let me squeeze in some good news. And thanks, Mike, for reminding me, though, guys, that England were bundled out for just 131, thrashed by 7 wickets in the first one-day international at Headingley. South Africa handing out that bruising reality check, though, to the host. It's a new era for them of the white ball cricket under captain Harry Brook. So, yeah, South Africa on a good wicket. It's over to you, Bok women. Over to you, Springbok men. It's a heavy weekend ahead. The room dividers have divided our opinions, as you heard from the projected score lines and what they're going to be here. So a big thanks to you, Thando Manana, as well as Mike Greenaway. Our rugby room dividers here are going to be back again next week, Tuesday. So tune in again next week, Tuesday, for Room Dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide. Brought to you by FNB, hashtag grassroots to greatness on hashtag MSW, 947 Rise FM and Vuma FM and Sowetan Live. Don't miss that, guys. See you next week.
What's your call, Rob?
My call is that we must get out of here. It has been Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Hashtag MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Sowetan Live. At the same time. Hashtag MSW.